Hello there! I'm here to playtest for FCHQ's Feature Friday. This is week 338. This week I will be playtesting one game, and that game is actually different from what I usually playtest. I don't think I've playtested one of these before a Fall Guys game, but we've got Bean Cup Football / Soccer Fall Guys by Drew Labs. And today I am alone, so I'm gonna be taking the approach of playtesting it like solo, which I usually do. So it's not anything new to me. Let's see the description. Fall Guys Soccer, experience chaotic 7v7 football as a Fall Guys bean. Score, touch or shoot the ball into the net, teamwork, pass to teammates to outplay the opponents. How many goals can your bean score? Okay. This is gonna be like that one Fall Guys mode we had, but instead of it being like basketball, it's gonna be soccer. That's cool. I guess the bonus to being alone is that I can give feedback on how things look on maxed out graphics versus the all low graphics for the Switch. Switch always takes longer to load in. So auto threw the Switch into the game since it was like an in progress person. I like that there's a little indicator above my head. I don't think I see one on the Switch. I can see it on the Switch though. Let me score the ball in computer first. I like this arena. I like how you've got the grass actually painted as well. The logos are neat too. The ambient noise is nice to have. I do wish there was some sort of music in the background because with Fall Guys games, there's usually music playing. Because I feel like there's always music playing when it's a Fall Guys game. I don't know if it's possible to enable like the jump and dive with the Fall Guys character, but that would be really cool if we had that because things feel a little slow movement wise, especially if it's a one-on-one situation. Like if I'm all the way, wait, we'll demonstrate it on my computer end. Like the ball gets hit over here and one guy's running forwards. I can't do anything to really catch up in time. I guess I could try cutting him off, but just something that came to mind. Oh, I didn't even notice the mini map is up on the bottom right. I like that. I don't know if it is intentional to have that trigger right there, but I just want to let you know there's a trigger on this side of the field. Is there one on the other side too? I don't think so. Yeah, there's just that one right there. The time remaining indicator looks really nice too. I like the animated texture. Mentioned 7 versus 7. Oh yeah, because 14 players. I wonder if you hit a certain like set of goals, game ends. Like I think in Rocket League you get to 7 goals. Maybe it's more. I haven't played Rocket League in a while, but just so once there's like a point of no return for the other team, it just kind of restarts the match right there. I think it's really good that since I scored, it puts me back in my spot, but I think it would be good if it put everyone back in their spots. I don't know if that had just like a weird kind of like feel or outcome in playtesting. So maybe that's why it's not like that. If you haven't tried that, I would recommend checking it out just to see if it feels better to have everyone teleported back to like starting positions. But right now I think it's so really good that it puts me back here because that gives the other team a chance to go in and get the ball to where they need to bring it. I think that when a round ends like that, it would be really nice if we were just automatically put out here. If you want players to have access to this like out of the arena, yeah, I'm gonna call it arena, out of the field area, what you could do is set up an input trigger. And since we're not using any of our like switch items or our harvesting tool, so you could bind it to, I would recommend the harvesting tool. So they can just press that and get teleported back here. Since it puts them all the way back here by their goal, I think that you might need to implement some cooldowns on it, depending on how things seem to play out with that. We grab each other. No, we cannot. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to get to the 7. I think it's 7. I'm really confused on why the other player in the lobby doesn't have one of these indicators above their head. Hold on, let me bring them in. Maybe they'll get one. Oh, they got one now. Okay. Since nameplates are on, they kind of cover over that, though. You can disable those with one of, I think, island settings and maybe the classes device. Maybe team settings and inventory device as well. There's quite a few ways you could disable it if you were looking to. I don't see a problem with seeing our the other players' usernames though. What happens if I hit it out of bounds? Nothing. Okay, wait. I might be terrible at this. Come on, I got this. Maybe I don't got this. A little bump. Oh man, that was not a little bump. Oops. Hit it against the goal. Oh, that was almost perfect until I walked back into it. Oh, you know what? Having power-ups in here would be cool. I don't know if that would be difficult to set up. You could have like a speed boost one. The player movement device. I think that's still in beta. I don't know how well it actually works. But you could set something up to where like a player could press a button to get like a 3-second speed boost. I'm just throwing out a bunch of ideas. This isn't like me saying, oh, you need to do this in order to be featured on Feature Friday. I feel like, honestly, the main points that I want to make in my notes is that it just needs some more atmosphere to it with like music. I think we really should have music in here. Because the Fall Guys games always have the little tunes going on in the background that bring more life to like the atmosphere of everything. Some other like small things like I recommended before, you could set up the input trigger to bring people back here. You would probably need to set up some cooldowns on that though, because players could totally use that to skip teleport back here and then be brought back by their goal. Another thing is that we can see over this and kind of see that there's nothing out there. Since we don't really need to go out there anyways, this is like the smallest like background thing. But what I would do is put some trees around it a little bit. I don't know if I have an example. Hold on, wait. I might have an example that'll be really helpful in this case. Let me see. I swear I've got a screenshot of it. I've got to have a screenshot of it somewhere. Basically, like a really light usage of assets to make a background environment. The best way to do it is to use like one of the modular cliff pieces. I mean, you have your landscape place, so you could just use that too for sculpting, but you could just use modular landscape meshes and then some trees, maybe some bushes. I mean, you don't really need a bunch of detail out there, but it's just one of those small things that not every player will really care about it. Like probably a small handful will, but one of those things. Here's my example. So in one of my games, it used to just be barriers that kept the map enclosed because it's a 1.0 game. But what I did was, this is like the small usage of assets that I mentioned. Like I have this modular terrain piece that I'm using as mountains around the map and then some trees. Obviously we're in a little stadium, so you might not even need those modular terrain pieces. A couple of trees. I'm not sure. There's definitely some other stuff you could do, but that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of like putting a background, something around the map. Main place. I think that's really it. It's just some really small stuff Again, this isn't super needed, but what I think would genuinely help improve things is if I don't even know if we have access to this in the toolset to let players be able to do like the jump and dive. That would help them speed things up. Having like a power ability that they can use, like I mentioned, a little speed boost would be cool, or a little power ups placed around the field. That could be really cool too. You could use the collectible device and link it with um without verse. You could use a trigger that activates, and after like a set time it'll activate. What am I saying? The idea for a non-verse, have a power up, right? The collectible. You walk into it, I'm pretty sure it sends a signal when a player collects it. So when a player collects it, it'll send the signal to the movement device. It'll apply that movement device to that player. That's how it works. You could also do this through classes. But then at the same time, it activates a trigger that has a delay on it. So after that delay is done, the trigger will actually send out that signal, and you can link it to take them off of that movement device. There we go. I found the words there. Honestly, I did not really have much to recommend on this one. This is a really solid game right here. I like it. I like it a lot. Again, music is like the biggest thing. Power-ups would be another pretty big thing just for gameplay. Then small things like getting back to I don't even know what to call this area. Spectator area. Making a better way to have this happen, because I feel like it doesn't feel super polished to have to step on a trigger to get back over here, but you do implement it through the input trigger. You'd have to think of a way to make it so players can't just like teleport back and run back in here to get to their goal. If they're in the middle of a game, I would recommend it so you don't let them do it. Like maybe after a ball is scored, a little window opens that lets them go out there. I'm not too sure. You'd have to experiment with that for sure. I thought there was something else I was going to say, but I lost it. If it comes back to mind, it'll be in the written feedback, which will be posted in the Feature Friday feedback channel this Friday. Again, I really like this. I really like this field. How everything's like actually painted. Feels nice to just kind of run around. I know it was really, really short, but I think that's really all I can come up with. You feel like you've got a really, really stable foundation here with not much I can really comment on to say, oh, do this, do that, or you should do this, do that, like with recommendations. I got a small list with like 3 or 4 things mainly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. That is it for me playtesting today. This was, I think, my shortest playtest just because we've had only single maps. And since this one's a really good, simple game loop, I don't really need to cover over much. But that is it for this week's playtesting session / stream from me. I will be back to playtest more games next week. That is it. Goodbye.